Big smooth inhale. Pause for a moment. And then a slow, smooth exhale. Okay. So, real quickly, if you notice kind of the cognitive state that you're in now, maybe you would try to notice some properties about the state of consciousness as it is now after having done that practice. So, what has happened again? You know, everything I've been saying, all that stuff. You're lowering your heart rate, and I think probably the brain is functioning better. And so yeah, what have I been talking about in general? What has a lot of this been about? I've been describing, kind of my story, my narrative. Really, it's just a pathway. I've kind of talked about a lot, more or less the concept of a pathway. Um, I talked about the whole looking at a tree and, you know, noticing some of its properties, of kind of the materials or the ideas that make it up. And it worked. It has a pathway. They all have a pathway. That's a pretty good adaptation to dealing with gravity. Um, and within that there's just so many similarities to this idea of that we describe of kind of your own odyssey or your own pathway. Like in life, you must invent your own pathway. So it's kind of this it's kind of this like lucid philosophical question, or endeavor. So it is, it's this idea that you must invent your pathway in life. Yeah, you must participate in a way with life in which you just might like the direction that you're going. You just might be living in a direction or a pathway in which the converse is you believe it's going to get better. It is going to get better. And so, that's kind of what history teaches us, or at least that's an aspect of it. Is Yeah, it was, definitely in history. I think it's yeah, this idea of doing things and hopefully the converse gets better. Um, and so what are we doing? We're probably playing that exact same game as well. Um, and through meditation and through discourse with yourself and discovering the self, Um, I think that you can objectively uh, be more aware of a direction that you would like your converse in life to take you. Uh, I think that's, again, I know I've been quoting him a lot in this idea, describing kind of a pathway idea. But I think, Sam Harris's point is right that when he says that objective, you could be having objectively a better experience about your state of consciousness uh, while you exist. And I think that's a very good uh, idea to try, try the human condition, try. So a really good idea to kind of throw out the human condition. Um, and so, and so, yeah, well, a lot of things that I've been talking about is this idea of meditation, mindfulness, and finding yourself. And also, I've been trying to uh, describe a pathway a little bit, I suppose, about how meditation maybe can affect you. Um, and 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 it's just, it's very self-evident in even the ideas I've been describing or the materials of ideas I've been describing. Like when I talk about just becoming more aware within your cycle of breath, just noticing qualities or properties about your cycle of breath that maybe you wouldn't necessarily take notice of. Um, or just in general about this idea of becoming more aware, and also that it's this converse with yourself and becoming more aware of that converse, and um and becoming more aware of the idea of being aware and just kind of liking that idea a little bit more, or populating your brain with those type of thoughts. And those type of thoughts come from this time spent in this practice of meditation. And so, yeah, those are some more just positive benefits of meditation, mindfulness.